Hey there, welcome back to Love, Dating, and Marriage Relationships with me, where we share, ask, and answer relationship questions and help you to build intentional, healthy, and godly relationships. Now, can a man love without respect? I feel like I hear a lot of no's in my subconscious, but that is what we're going to be discussing today. So keep on watching. So I ran a poll on my Instagram page asking this question: can a husband love his wife without respect? Can you guess? Yeah, this was the answer. Honestly, I was kind of expecting the poll to sway towards yes, but somehow I also knew that people were going to vote no. Now, to answer this question, we're going to look at four important things. One, what is love? Two, what is the expectation placed on the husband to love his wife according to Ephesians 5:25? Why do husbands find it difficult to show and communicate love to their wives? And lastly, should the husband's love be dependent on his wife's submission? Now, I'm sure by the time we're done with these questions or at the end of this video, you will no doubt have the answer to this question, and nobody will be able to tell you otherwise. So let's dive straight into question one. Number one, what is love? Now, love is a decision, love is a choice, love is a commitment to action. The action of deliberately choosing to give yourself and your energy to making your marriage meaningful. Love is also measured in action, is what we have to demonstrate whether or not we feel like it at any given day. Love also requires thoughtfulness, selflessness, sacrifice, and patient listening. You can also find out what love is in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 to 5. Interestingly, agape love is the love that holds a marriage together through different kinds of seasons. It is the selfless and unconditional type of love that helps us to forgive each other, serve one another, submit to each other, and also respect one another. So love is selflessness and self-sacrificial. So the second thing we're going to look at is what is the expectation placed on the husband to love his wife according to Ephesians 5:25. Now, Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now, this places a huge expectation on the husbands. I'll explain. We know that the husband is not Christ. However, the performance of this expectation can be drawn from various examples in how Christ has loved the church, how Christ continues to show love to the church, and the church is you and I. So the first expectation is to serve her, to serve your wife. Now, Jesus was always looking for ways to serve people. Likewise, husbands can find practical ways, in so many ways, to serve their wives. Now, here's what you can do. Ask your wife, how do you want me to serve you? So the second expectation is to submit to her. Ephesians 5:21 says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Now, this submission on the part of the husband does not take anything away from his role as a man, his role as the husband, his role as the head of the home, or his position of leadership in the home. Sometimes the wife may have a better idea, a better approach, to a particular situation. So ego and pride definitely has to be put aside so that the husband can submit himself to the idea of his wife. For example, imagine a team captain and the team members both on the same team. Of course, you find that sometimes the team captain gives out some instructions to the team members, and sometimes as well, you can find a team member trying to tell the team captain that I feel that this position I'm in is of a better advantage, and you find that the team captain would also listen to that team member because they're both on the same team and they have one common goal. Likewise, the husband and the wife are on the same team and are submitting to one another in reference to Christ. So another expectation is to satisfy and sanctify her. Now Ephesians 5:28 says, no one hates their own body, but you feed and care for it just like Christ does for the church. Now the context here is that Christ feeds and cares. He cherishes and nourishes the church, which again is you and I. So just like the husbands will feed and care for their own bodies, they should also do same for their wives. Now there's so many ways you can sanctify it. That means to set apart your wife. You can do this by making sure you pray together, attend church services together, listen to sermons together, encourage each other with the word, so that if one person is feeling weak, if one person is feeling down, the other person is able to lift the other person up. Remember, you're in the same team. So yes, these expectations are there to submit, to serve, to sanctify, and to satisfy your wives as husbands. Now, the problem with these expectations is that we've exalted the feeling of love over the action. But remember, love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. Love is a commitment to action. So the next point, why then do some husbands find it difficult to show or communicate love to their wives? Now, I believe women can be complicated to understand and can also be very easy to understand at the same time. The key is in being patient enough to understand the needs of the wife that God has given to you. Emphasis on the word patient and understand. Now, a lot of men in general, and even husbands as well, tend to think that once money is provided to the wife, things will be okay. But then they neglect and fail to study their wives in order to understand her needs. So I believe some of the reasons why some husbands may find it difficult to show or communicate love to their wives could be: one, measuring love by the wrong standards. Now this could be due to past experiences or just general examples that the husband probably saw growing up. Another reason could be that the husband is actually communicating love, but just communicating love in the wrong way. So this is where the husband wants to ensure he finds out his wife's love language so that he can love her as she desires to be loved, not as he wants her to be loved. Now, if you want to find out your wife's love language, I did a whole extensive video on love languages, so you should watch this video. I'll put the link somewhere at the top of this video so you can find out your wife's love language as well. So another reason could be fear of being complacent. This is when you think if you show too much love to your wife, she can become complacent and then disrespect you, when in actual fact, showing her love the way she desires to be loved, again through love languages, she would actually honor and respect you. But no doubt there are people that also take love for granted. But if that is your situation, then I certainly advise that you do get help. And finally, the husband may just not know how to show love. Now, even though the wife may be honoring and respecting her husband, the husband may just not be showing love to her the right way because he doesn't know how to. And that's perfectly okay. I tell people that once you're able to identify what a problem is, you're honestly halfway there. So the bigger problem is when you don't actually know what the problem is. So if you're able to identify that, okay, I want to love my wife, but I don't know how to, that's the foundation, that's the beginning. Then you can say, okay, you know what, how then do I love my wife? What do I need to do? You can speak to your wife, how do you want me to love you? And then you take practical steps to make sure that you are showing love to your wife the way that she wants to be loved. And that way you can build, a meaningful, godly marriage. So that's definitely, if you don't know how to, that's fine. That's not a problem. The point is, you know that you don't know how to, and you want to seek help. You want to be intentional in actually showing love to your wife, as opposed to not knowing how to show love and you don't care and you just don't want to know how to. That's a whole different ball game. So final question, should a husband's love to his wife be dependent on his wife's submission to him? No, it's as simple as that. And this is because love has nothing to do with what you get in return. Simple. Remember, love is selfless. It is self-sacrificial. As an example, Jesus loves the church. Again, the church is you and I, despite our daily inconsistencies. So if us husbands are supposed to love their wives as Christ loves the church. This is definitely a huge assignment. It's a huge expectation, but conforming yourself as husbands to be more like Christ daily should give you a better understanding of why you love and why you should love your wife regardless of the situation. So with all that being said, do you think a husband can love his wife without respect? The answer is yes. But is it easy to do? The answer is no. I'll explain. In a healthy relationship, both love and respect are important, but you can certainly love someone who does not necessarily respect you as a husband, because God has commanded husbands to love their wives even when they may seem unloving. Now, we all know that this is no mean feat. I think when your wife mistreats or disrespects you, I think that's a very good time, very good opportunity for you to show her the love of Christ. Because guess what? It's going to be a challenge for you. It's going to be tough for you to obey that command that God has given to you as a husband. Because if she doesn't disrespect you, when you show her love, you feel like it's what I'm called to do anyway, so it's not difficult for me to do. But in a challenging situation where she's not respecting you, you should still obey that command. So I think that's a good time to actually continue to show her the love of Christ. 1 Peter 3:7 says, husbands should treat their wives with understanding. Interestingly, I believe that expectations of what we want from our spouse can prevent us from loving unconditionally. Now think about it this way. If a husband fails to love his wife because she has suddenly become unlovable and disrespectful, the wife in return would also not respect her husband because now he is unloving towards her. This becomes a crazy cycle going on and on, just spinning out of control, waiting for someone to put an end to it before it hits the fence. So, love her, expecting nothing in return. It's a huge assignment. Love her, expecting nothing in return, and watch what happens. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but she would definitely come around. It can be tough, especially with an unfaithful spouse, but if both husband and wife are willing to walk and heal through this journey, through this experience together, then I definitely encourage you to seek help, and with the strength of God, you can be able to love each other again. So, dear husbands, please understand that this is what God has called you to do for your wives. And yes, this is what you signed up for. So if it came to you naturally while you were dating or courting, now is the time to be more intentional about it. This video is an abridged version of this topic. If you want more information, if you want more detail, then I encourage you to watch this video where we shared more information and answered more questions relating to the role of the husband in a Christian marriage. Now I'll leave the link to that video somewhere at the top of this video or in the description box as well. Okay, so thank you for sticking till the end of this video. Now, as always, if you found this useful, if you found this helpful, let me know by liking this video. Also share your thoughts in the comments, and you also want to share this video with anyone that you think should listen to it. And you know what else you should do? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and you also want to hit the notification bell so you know anytime I put up a new video. Now, thank you so much for watching again, and as always, I encourage you to live an intentional life.